Welcome, everyone, to Executive Presence Under Pressure, how to communicate effectively when everyone is triggered, including yourself. I'm Christy Rutherford, and today I have two of my amazing clients that I want them to share their insight and their journeys with you of what's possible when you do the work on yourself, what's possible when you learn how to care for yourself, what's possible when you implement my burnout recipe, which is work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes, sleep 3 times a week for 8 hours, and then meditate 3 times a week for 5 minutes. And it's one thing for me to continue to share how to have a magical life. It's another thing for me to show you, because by her fruit size ye shall know her. All right, so we gonna bring up Angela and Lisa. Yay. I've been waiting for this conversation with Lisa since for a long time. Angela, we've talked, but I like the dynamics that y'all have, and I like because you've recently taken elevating the executive mindset, because that's different. It's not that different. Because everything that we do at Vision Finder International is getting the leader to see a better version of themselves. But we have to trick y'all saying that you're going to make more money and make it about your job, when really it's about you. Because once you become a better person, better people make better leaders. So I want to start with Angela so I can warm Lisa up, because this is her first time. So Angela, what was going on with you when you reached out to us over here at Vision Finder International? Or I would just say, once you've done the work, let's just fast forward, because we've talked to you already.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about yourself differently that you were able to implement in elevating the executive mindset? That's my question.
So first of all, that you have to pour into yourself. And I learned how to pour into myself because I was excellent at pouring into others. I could help others process their emotions, their big emotions. I could hold space for people. I wasn't doing it for myself, Christy. And that was the thing that I learned through your courses, how to do that. That was the big thing.
Oh no, that was a real nice softball answer. That answer was
You see, Lisa?
that answer was lacking flavor. That answer was potato salad with raisins in it. That wasn't like no salt and pepper. That ain't what really happened. So we ain't got to go like all the way down. But what? Say that again. What was your answer again? Because I ain't hear nothing. You said what you say when
I,
you were in the other video?
okay. So here's the Caesar version. I became
Okay, right.
selfish. I became selfish with my time, who I poured into, and I took all that juicy, yummy energy that I was giving out, and I started giving it to myself. I tightened up my circle. I stopped taking things personally because I wasn't emotionally attached to a lot of things anymore. I started practicing detachment, and things stopped getting to me. It's not that I'm not passionate. It's not that I still have very big emotions that I love. It's not everything is worth the expenditure of my time, my emotions, my interest or my focus. And that's a big one, because especially as women, whatever we pay attention to grows. So when we stop paying attention to drama, it goes away. It's as simple as that.
Okay, that's a different answer. Lisa, that was different, huh? So Lisa, when you came into the Vision Finder International experience last October, last September, what was going on with you when you came over here into our stratosphere of magical happy people?
Um, Everything. I was at the point where I was looking for what's my purpose. I was in yet another role thinking everyone else is the problem. Um, Angela gave such a nice, genteel answer, but I'm a fighter. I will fight with you. I will argue with you. And the biggest thing I learned was that I was the whole problem. And so when I came in October, I was mid fighting the fight at my current place. And I have not left jobs, but I work at a whole new place now. So
Mm.
Come on now. Come on now. Yes.
I'm gonna work
Okay.
on my Angela version though. That was so
Yeah.
nice.
No, I like the aggressive answer, because here's the thing. And like the when it comes to leadership training, when it comes to why I think a lot of training is insufficient, I'm not judging it, but I'm just saying if everybody's still crazy, we're not getting the results.
Mhm.
It's because leaders aren't cookie cutter. And to do a one size fits all training, when you have 8 to 30 different personalities in the room and you're trying to teach them something, it's not going to work for everything. Like what you learn, what Angela, if we would have taught you and Angela the exact same thing and wouldn't have gone deeper into why, both of y'all would still be, you know, Angela was just a little passive aggressive back in the day. She wouldn't say nothing, but she would give you the death stare. You would just
Aggressive.
try to pop a hole in people. Yeah. So when it comes to like an expression of energy, whether you internalize it or whether you externalize it, you still lost your footing, right? So I want to unpack that a little bit. So Angela, let's back up to, last year. Can we go back there? Can I bring up old stuff? Do you remember her?
So Lisa, this is why I'm calm now, because I've already unpacked all this stuff. Yeah,
Well,
I remember her. I remember how I came into the group.
Oh, okay. So you were, what was going on with you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I did not. Much like Lisa, I thought it was everybody else's fault, but everywhere I went, I kept running into myself. So I was like, well, I am the problem. And for me, it was heartbreaking to keep experiencing the same patterns over and over again that could not be solved through hard work, intellect, another degree, another certificate, and having to sit down and unpack what was going on, why I wasn't getting along with certain people or members of my family, or why I was continuously feeling that internal pressure of just being frustrated all the time, angry. And it really boils down to outcomes, Christy. No matter what, I wasn't achieving the outcomes I desired. I had the degrees, I had a certificate, I had the opportunities. I just wasn't receiving the outcomes that I needed. I did not understand my value, and I behaved like I didn't understand my value. So I lowballed myself. I did not take, I did not ask. But people were making money off of me, but I wasn't making money off of myself. So all that pouring and all that into other people, I was like, let me stop that. So when I got to you, I had run out. I was running on fumes. I was just tired and bitter and just, that's one of the things I think is very hard for a Black woman to admit, that she is tired, that she is bitter, that she is angry, all those narratives we've heard. And then all of a sudden we realize, oh, that's true.
And the truth shall set you free. So, okay. So it was you.
It was me. All the time.
Did you know it was you before you came, or were you just mad or looking for a different outcome when you came? Which one was it? Because it matters.
I think right below the surface, I knew it was me, Christy. And that's why you could work with me. Not everybody is ready to face that. They're still running from something. So when the least little thing you say to them, like, your glasses are crooked, it's a fight, because it's a fight. It's on site.
She ain't talking about my glasses.
She ain't talking about my glasses. You did that to me one day. You were like, Ashley, turn off your screen. Don't nobody want to see that. I was like, because it was coming all over my face. And you were like, just shut your screen off. You can stay, but I don't want to see that. Because I didn't know how I looked. It's funny now, but I mean, it's, yeah,
It's
I'm pouring into
interesting
other people.
how
I'm like,
literally opposite we are
mm-hmm,
because I fought everyone and I did achieve my goals. Uphill, against the wind, against if I had to push through solid rock.
mm-hmm,
Um, but I would always get to the end and feel no satisfaction or I mean literally 2 weeks before I signed up for the class, I had talked to my leader in my one-on-one and I said, I don't think I'm a fit at this company. And he told me that it took him all his courage to tell me that he agreed. And I hadn't, I had not yet reached like, it must be me. I'm just like, man, everywhere I go, these fools are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got in the meeting and Christy was like, the fool is you, boo boo.
mm-hmm,
I ain't
mm-hmm.
say it like that. I ain't
She
say
didn't.
that.
She said it nice. She didn't say it
Oh,
nicely,
okay.
but she said it differently.
Okay.
Okay, good. I would never call anybody a fool. I would say it's you though, but
It's
okay,
you.
It's me.
okay, great. So let's move forward. So both of y'all were the problem as high achievers, as leaders, as people who had achieved a certain point of success, but now you're not getting further along. And here's the
Mhm.
thing: it's 2025 for you, Lisa, late 2020, because this is like we just
Yeah.
worked together like last year. Angela
Yeah.
was 2024 coming mainly into 2025, like that was her transformational year, right? And let LinkedIn tell it. Y'all should be suffering, which is why you can hold on that long and like go through something because everybody's going through something. While we over here riding unicorns and eating Skittles and living a rainbow life, right? And so
Mhm.
I'm literally, this is why I do these podcasts and these interviews. So I'm grateful for y'all to show up. I'm literally showing you
Mhm.
hundreds of women, men, like people to say you can be happy in these times because like, so okay, great. So I just wanted to go there. All right. So Angela,
Mhm.
oh, actually, I want to come back to Lisa. Lisa, what was the most shocking thing that you learned about how you were creating or aiding in the conflict that you were having with other people in your office?
Oh, the most shocking was probably that when I was giving, as a high achiever and somebody who is used to delivering, it was shocking for me to find out that the reason what I was giving my leaders wasn't working out for them was because I was giving them what I would need in their seat
Mhm.
and not giving them what they needed for their style of leadership. And I was just it was shocking to have such a big blind spot in that area.
All right, unpack that a little bit more. Like give us, can you give us an example without sabotaging yourself? If you can, it's fine. But
Yes,
'cause
no, I
y'all got
can.
brands over here, so I just
So
okay, go ahead.
we did an exercise in the class where we went through an assessment and learned what our style was, and then we went a little further and
Your style of
um,
communication.
our style of communication.
Okay.
And we assessed the styles of the people around us, the people leading us, the people reporting into us. And when I, and it was value based, when I looked at the difference between my style and my leader style, and actually my style and my entire team style,
Mhm.
um, I'm I am most of their polar opposite. And it works for the roles that I'm in and the projects that I do. They need a me, but I wasn't giving them what they needed to then take back to their leaders. I
Mhm.
wasn't fulfilled. So I'm a person who I want to move fast. I don't need all the detail. I understood what you said the first time. I can put the picture together myself. Give me the key pieces I need, and I'm going to move. I was delivering my information to my leaders like that, and one of them needs more of a framework and a structure for the information to hang on, and the other one wants all the detail. And I'm like, what? I already gave you what you needed. I told you I did it. Um, and so I started to see how them not getting what they needed would turn into frustration for them. Then they're pressing on me. Now I'm frustrated. I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to argue about whether or not I gave you what you needed. And so that just the whole cycle, I literally went in after our first set of sessions and redid my whole update that I had for that Monday. And man, they were like on the edge of their seats. And I'm like, I'm giving them all the same information, but it wasn't. It was structured the way they needed it to really be able to join me in the conversation. It felt like the first time we ever communicated. We had
Well,
talked plenty.
look at God. Okay, great. So
Yes.
the thing about communication, right, is like trying to switch our boxes around. Hold on. Y'all not just be hitting buttons. The thing about effective communication isn't necessarily about the person who's giving it, is if the intent behind the message is clearly received. And so yeah, we're talking,
Mhm.
you have an intention, but what you're intending is not being received because you're not like delivering it in a way that that person can understand it, or those people. It ain't just one person, it was everybody.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so they're
Everybody.
frustrated because you're not giving them what they need in a way that they can now take it to the next person, because they need the communication from you to take it to their leaders. And then, or in a way that they understand it, but they know you know it, Lisa, because of your
Yes.
personality type. And you got all of it, but you're not giving it to them in a way that they need it. And then once you started, so let's talk about once you started to unpack, how do you communicate? Because it's not just this one person, or I'm sorry,
Mm-mm.
it's not like the blanket communication. You're like, this person needs me to communicate this way. This person needs me to communicate this way. This person needs me to communicate this way. So knowing that, not just with your leaders,
Mm-hmm.
your team, and then your team, right? We got to go
Yes.
sideways down. How has that changed the dynamics? And just it's just been 3 months.
I mean, it has been a night and day difference. I lead a shared service that has over 30 people in it. There are various levels of leadership through that, different all different styles. At this point, quite a number of them have officially been assessed. And it's not just me thinking this is their style. I've also, done some measuring of how well do I gauge someone's style. Um, and I've really tailored my communications. The We are right now, just closing out January. Um, we're at a point where, for the first time in quite some time, our team is starting to gain steam. They're starting to come back from a point where they had kind of worked themselves to like, everything here is hard work, and our senior leader is just never happy with us. No matter what we do, we're not accurate enough. And if we're accurate enough, we're not fast enough. And, I've been transparent with them about what my style is and what I need from them when I'm requesting things, because I'm no different than my leaders in that I get frustrated too when my need is not being met. And unlike a lot of um, some of the other styles or the other leaders around me, I'm perfectly willing to let you know that I am not happy with the information that I'm receiving. And so it has actually entirely changed the experience of the people on our team. There are some team members who have let me know, like, please, wherever you go, I want to go too, which is not always typical in a corporate environment. People are in it for themselves. And we've started to joke a lot more about the forever team that we're building. It really is just a night and day difference in terms of the team's engagement, in terms of the conversations I get invited into. I went from having some HR people early last year tell me that I'm a little too aggressive in in some meetings and fighting with them about that too. To them telling me, hey, we're having a conversation about this, and I think you'd really be a great person to sit at the table and help us look at it from every angle. And I'm like, well, there's something to this ish. But it really, like, 180-degree turn.
Somebody dare call a black woman aggressive. Oh God. Oh God. Hey, Lisa, they telling the truth, right? Like people be like, oh, people keep saying I'm aggressive. I'm like, it's because you are. Like,
Yeah.
don't be mad and get on LinkedIn and post that your team is calling you aggressive, your leaders are calling you aggressive, that this job, and I'm gonna go get a new job because they think I'm aggressive. And I'm like, man, if you would just look in the mirror.
Mhm.
Anyway, I mean, but here's the thing. Their frustration would trigger you and set you ablaze. Now everybody's on fire.
Yes.
And then everybody's frustrated. And they didn't change, right? It took one person to illuminate themselves to change the dynamics in the whole team.
Mhm.
That's all it takes. Now imagine if the same team, y'all should bring me on. Is your company watching this? Like imagine if everybody had the same baseline. Like
Yeah.
how much more effective can everybody be? Because the thing about your triggers is it wasn't, people say I'm burning out at work and I'm triggered at work. I'm like, no, you're bringing that stuff with you. They just throwing lighter fluid on the fire that's already burning, right? All right,
Mhm.
let's go to Angela. Okay, Angela, what has changed in the dynamics of how you're communicating with your team?
So I do a lot of managing up as a consultant, and I work with teams internally and externally. Chrissy, the magic happened when I was able, when like Lisa, I was invited to conversations that I wondered they were going on, but now I'm a part of them. When you're calm in tense situations, when everybody's going off and you can still work through the problem, it's almost like a ball of yarn, and you're working through it because my personality type is I'm a planner. People start to trust you. And so now I'm trusted in a way that feels good by people who are heavyweights in my field, clients who are heavyweights. It's not, I don't feel like I'm at the bottom anymore, struggling for attention. Um, I feel like I'm at tables now, and I know it's not a feeling. I'm at tables now where I'm learning and I'm also teaching. And one of the things that we learned in that one course was mentorship and sponsorship and the difference. And some of my sisters who are in the course now have sponsors that they didn't even know were trying to contact them back in the day. And it's amazing. Like Lisa and I see it. And I have sponsors, people who say my name in rooms that I did not think were even paying attention to me. And the funny part was I learned how to gain the courage to not be mentioned in circles that will not get me to my goal. Someone said to me once, because I was declining things that were not in line with my vision and my values. And they said, well, what about your reputation? I said, my reputation is solid amongst people who pay. Solid, solid. And then they tell other people who pay. It's great. But my reputation amongst people who don't, no, not so much. Mm-mm. Now I can own that. Whereas before it was, I wasn't being humble. That's what's changed. And as a planner, I know how to communicate to other people. Not everybody's looking for a plan. Lisa, I'm looking at you. Not everybody's looking for a plan. Sometimes there are people who they need to bounce an idea off of me, and that's my value. And they bring me along with them. Or people, if I'm leading a team, they trust me because there's a plan in place and they're ready to go. Now, not everybody wants that, but there's so many people who need that. I saw my value. It wasn't, oh, I'm not like such and such. I no longer have feel the need to be like everybody else, which you grow out of. But even at the corporate level, you still feel like, oh, maybe I need to adjust this or tweak this. No, I'm fine right where I am. And I'm comfortable in not only tense situations, but I'm comfortable when I'm being underestimated, because I know eventually you're going to come around and this is going to be a different conversation. And that's exactly what's been happening is, Ange, when I first met you, you were cool and everything, but woo, now I need you. Can you do X, Y, Z? And I'm like, well, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me get back to you on that.
She tells me that sometimes.
That's savagery.
You
Okay.
have to be told that, yeah. You have no plan.
But
Moving on.
that's not her
Instinct.
personality. That's not her strong suit.
Mhm.
I know. And you listen, when I say Lisa, I gotta talk because there's a situation that she can help me with because of her background, because of her personality. That woman has helped me make money.
Mhm.
We're not at brunch with bottomless mimosas talking about how we hate life. When she picks up the phone, she knows, okay, Ange has a challenge. It's about she's been stalled some area, and I gotta, we're gonna work on how to push through it. So she's helping me come up with even stronger plans. That's the difference. And it's not just Lisa's, it's the other women in the cohort. My sisters have helped me greatly. And
Mhm.
this isn't something I could find, like, on the street or with, these
Truly.
women are no joke. Some people get together and there's like a big think tank. Sometimes they'll just tell me to shut up. That's your fault, Ange. No, that's on you, hon. Calm down. And we need that. We need that, like a checks and balance system. I don't need people always hyping me up when I'm wrong so that we can be wrong together. No, thank you. And sometimes you need to be checked, but I'm checked by people I know either have my best interests at heart and respect themselves and have done the work. But you can't check me if you haven't done the work. That's not happening. So,
I
seek
just want to.
that
Can I build
circle.
on that?
Yeah.
Your statement that it's just not out there. So I'm an avid reader. I I'm a lifelong learner. When people reach out to me and they haven't talked to me in years, they're telling me, "Hey, what have you learned lately?" Because that's what goes before me.
Mhm.
And there really was nothing else. Um, I've been in plenty of in-person courses. It's not about was it in person, was it virtual? It's
Mhm.
not about the format. It was truly nothing else helped me, one, see myself so clearly, and
Mhm.
then two, and we did this exercise where we had to think through the jobs that we had for the last X number of years and really try to assess what was our part in that dance. If you had
Right.
a problem at that job, what was the part you played in it? How did you create that? And really sitting and having the time to be honest with myself and realize like, oh well, hot damn, I really was the problem at all these places. Um, and not let myself fall in the trap of like, okay, well, maybe I'm a little bit of the problem now, but I wasn't the problem then. Nope, it was consistent. And I could see how that pattern had replicated itself everywhere I went. There I was. Um, and what you get out of this class that you don't get other places is a root, a foundation that you can build on, that you don't have to be blown around in the sand. You don't have to, I literally just saw a video today on LinkedIn where a woman was saying, stress can kill women. So this is your permission to crash out. And I'm like, no, that is not the answer. The answer is not just to give in to your wild anger and go be worse than than you are right now. It's to figure out why are you doing that and how do you stop and how do you start to move as your whole self. um it was that was a precious thing that we received from this training that I can really say is literally nowhere else because I've been looking.
Mm-mm. Part of the challenge too is that very few of us grew up in homes, and it's not because our families didn't love us. They didn't have this information. So what we learned was more tactical than what I had grasped in
Mm.
your other courses, Christy. This was, when this happens, do this, or stop and assess yourself, or you know what, breathe before you go off. You calm. Why are you going off? What's your role in this that you're not willing to admit? And just figuring out how I communicate alone stopped me from frustrating so many people. It's not that I'm not, I'm still frustrating at times. It's just not the masses anymore. You know, I now know how to regulate myself and my communication style. And like I said in the beginning, I was so frustrated no matter how hard I worked. I would attain a goal, but it was either short lived or I could be either talked out of it or I wasn't in the right rooms. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's different. And when I was in the right rooms, I didn't know what to say. I did, you know, it was like, what am I going, you know, how do I communicate? How is this person, you know, now I'm comfortable. A big part of that is, you know, like even in the beginning, I don't have a hype story and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to sit up here and make something up because we unpacked that part of it. But now I'm different and I own that and I like that. That's what makes me unique. And that's where my talent shines, not trying, you know, mimicking other leaders. Because even though we're all adults, a lot of us are mimicking other leaders' style. I will never be a Christy. I will never be a Lisa. You two will never be me. But that's the beauty of it. Whereas before, it's like, you know, some of these courses you're buying to imitate the leader. I don't want to, I'm good. No, you know. Mm-hmm.
Even that part, how to read the room. We learned how to walk into a large meeting and immediately start to, first of all, to stay shut and pay attention to the dynamics in the room and not deviously, but to be intentional, how to understand how we should move in this room, to understand how do we approach whatever topic we're approaching today, to understand, you know, how does, you know, where is the authority in this room, what are we, I mean, just really every aspect, that they are things that as an executive you need to know, and nobody really does think of taking the time to teach you those things. um Understanding the relationships that you have at a company, you know, if I hear one more person say, I'm not here to make friends, oh, I'm like, I know it's so easy to just to spout that and to, like, it's me against the world. And in reality, you need these relationships. You can be intentional about your relationships. You don't have to be sloppy Saturday in the kitchen, but you need the people that you're working with, and you should have good relationships. Why can't you have good relationships? Why do people have to be like, ooh, don't talk to so and so, you know, I saw she hadn't had coffee yet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's um I mean, those skills, there were so many things that, like, even as I'm listening to Angela, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say that. I forgot to say
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It is invaluable.
Yeah.
Christy's
Okay,
like,
go.
I don't even have to say anything.
Right.
My
Fair.
fruit is speaking.
I always say I'm the greatest to ever do it. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Because here's the what's interesting to me about corporate, right? Is corporate leaders haven't been leaders. Like the people that y'all listen to, these leadership trainers, they've never been a leader. And if you like, how can you? Let me get off that. I'm about to go down a rabbit hole. Y'all see my scalp is starting. If you ain't never been a leader, how you gonna teach me how to be a leader? Like if you've never actually led, and I tell people all the time, if you've never wanted to punch somebody in the face, like you can't teach me about leadership,
Nah.
because leadership theory would tell me that I shouldn't feel that way, but I do,
Mhm.
and you're not helping me. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Leadership is not theory. Leadership is actionable insight of, and leadership theory assumes a perfect leader, not gonna happen. is now leading a group of homogenous people, which
Yeah.
leading perfect employees, which we know is a lie, and everybody is the same, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, is like, how can we get the leaders? Because I only focus on the leaders. Because if I can get y'all to see how you're creating the dynamics, like Florence Scovel Shin says, if you don't give a reaction to an inharmonious situation, there is no situation.
Mm-mm.
Right. So if I can get y'all to see how you're collectively creating the scenarios, at least you can pull out and then let other people to do what they're going to do. But then you'll have opportunities and the doors that open up for you. Okay, great. So let's talk about. I'm excited. We ain't got time. We got time. So I can talk to y'all for 8 hours. Only because we talked about sponsorships. It's popular to say that women are over mentored and under sponsored. And I'm like, but that y'all can run studies on that all day. But until the women understand what a sponsor is and then how to actually get a sponsor, like everybody from, it was like October got a sponsor. Well, that was 3 months ago, including the holidays. Time off of the holidays.
One got sponsored at a holiday party.
Yeah. Right. And her whole thing was, I can't get a sponsor. But once she understood her role, right, and being trusted, it's one, understanding what it is, what her role is in obtaining a sponsor, and then being trusted enough to have a person put their name on the line for you. That's what people get twisted, right? Because people think that sponsorship is a person should want to sponsor me. No, I've been a sponsor, mentor, coach, ally, advocate. I put people in rooms they never knew how they got there. Even to this day, 15 years later, they never know how they got into these rooms. Okay, so let's talk about starting with you, Lisa. What advice do you have for people? When I saw somebody post yesterday, somebody who I love, about executive presence is about how you make other people feel. And I was like, I disagree. Executive presence isn't an external thing. It's like me walking up to Lisa trying to make Lisa feel good about me. I lost. Executive presence is, I feel great about myself. I think I'm the greatest to ever do it. And I'm confident and I'm aware and I'm calm, even when triggered. And why do I hear myself talking? Okay. So then it's like, you feel other people feel how I feel about myself. Angela, you can't trust me if I don't trust me. If I say that I'm the greatest and I flicker or my voice crack, Lisa, the aggressor, she ain't gonna have that. And she's gonna ask me a question.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Just to test you.
Ask me a question to blow it all out of the water, and she's going to expose me. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. And so executive presence is about me showing up as the greatest version of myself, and then I'm able to interact with other people better because I'm not faking, and I don't feel like an imposter in a room because I know that I belong here. So start with Lisa. Like, what advice do you have for people who are frustrated with their jobs? And if y'all want some information on advanced office politics, this is a course that we're talking about. We're like 50 minutes into this thing. Y'all can DM me. We have a cohort coming up in March.
My first piece of advice is take that class.
DM me.
But the second one is, if you're gonna take the class, come prepared to do the work, to really lean in. One of the and the personal work. This isn't a class to just sit back and say like, oh yeah, I was happy to hear Angela's story. That's a good indication that you're not going to get out what you need if you're not personalizing it and thinking through, what does that look like in my life? What are my patterns? What are, there is a way that you show up. Shameless plug for more of Christy's work, but there's a way that you show up based on things that are that only true to you, that are part of your story from your childhood, from the way you grew up, from the way you've operated in this life. And if you take the time not to fight against those things, but just to learn them and to say, okay, that happened. I don't have to have this big visceral reaction to it. It happened. I have moved this way. I'm going to move this other way now. And I don't have to punish everyone around me for things that may have happened in my past. It's amazing how you can walk into a room and feel totally settled. Um, and so that's the advice that I would have is if you walk in a room still and you feel like you don't belong there, there's something else at work. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that you truly don't belong there or you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have gotten an invite. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's that. I mean, I can't really say more than that. Take the class and do the work, and the results will, it's systems thinking, right? You fix the system, the output will be what the system's built to create. And so getting that right on the front end will give you what you need on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same question with Angela. What advice do you have? So we've taught the, executive mindset to men and women, I think in 8 countries. So, because that's what we do over here at Vision Fund International. We're international. So this isn't like the blanket women, although women are awesome. Men got some stuff too, right? And how they show up in rooms. So, Angela, same question. Do you remember the question?
What advice do I have? Okay,
Yep.
so first of all, shout out to my VFM coach Kathy, who just working with her and my former cohort was amazing. My advice would be take the plunge and sign up for a course and come to understand yourself. If you are frustrated, if you are angry, if you are bitter, if you are experiencing the same situations, different people, different places, and you want to change, go ahead and decide to do that. Sometimes it's painful, not physically, but you're leaving your old ways behind. You will meet new people who want the same as you. But it's okay to have a different outcome, as Lisa said. You don't have to link arms with everybody else and achieve the same type of loneliness, even though you may be in a relationship, um, not hitting the goals that you want to hit, falling out with family members, uh, you know, constantly living according to avoiding your triggers. I've seen people change companies because of their triggers. They'll think they'll go somewhere else and they won't be. No, you'll still experience your triggers, and also lean into your triggers. Now, when I'm triggered, I'm like, okay, what's going on? What work do I need to do? And another piece of advice is if you're not ready to do the courses, just follow Christy on LinkedIn. She's got 3 things that she tells people to do every day that I swear will change your life because it calms your mind. A lot of us are trying to lead or trying to create from chaos. We can't do that. I can feel chaos in people now. I'm like, and I give them grace, but I don't give them space. There's a difference. I give you grace, but you're not getting the space.
Oh, it's good.
You can't come in here with that.
Put on a mug.
But yeah, Lisa creates mugs for us. So, but when you recognize that and you can quiet your mind, you can lead from a different space instead of leading from chaos. It's so hard because no matter what you touch, it just doesn't work. And that's the frustrating part is that if you spend the money, you work hard and then you're angry because it didn't work. No matter what you do, whenever you touch with that chaos in you, there it is.
Mhm.
That's my advice.
Okay. I know you got to jump, Angela, because you got a 1 o'clock.
Mhm. Thanks.
But what I did want to say, hold on to me. I'm gonna switch us one more time. So no, I want to keep us like this.
Okay.
So I ain't gonna talk about your money, but I want to talk a little bit about the money. Not a lot, but I don't like to talk. I like to count y'all money. It makes me happy. But I'd like to add it to my total. But you close the deal by not being triggered. A
Mhm.
massive.
Mhm.
Can you expand on that, or do you want me to expand on that? What was the? I want you to tell the story because your people may be watching. What was the difference in how you would have responded in the past to how you responded, like in that moment, and like what would the difference in outcome be? You got 3 minutes to
I would have
share.
consoled the person I was talking to and letting myself get dragged along in the emotional chaos. I would have done that, or I would have dropped out. I would have quit. I'd have been, let's let somebody else take it. Instead, I was, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and allow that person to process their own emotions. Because I was good for that. I was like, here, I'll take them. I'll help you process. Now I'm like, I'm gonna need you to pull that together. If for five, just give me 5 minutes of your time, just with you in your right mind. But this is what we're gonna do, and not substituting. I overemphasized. I was so empathetic that I was porous. Like I was coming at things from a level of sympathy. Whereas, no, this is what we're going to do. I also reached out to Lisa and said, okay, this is the personality type. So that it helped me to stop taking it personally. It wasn't personal. It was, this is a reaction this person is having. And so that allows you to sit, it allowed me to sit in the space for about a month. And then towards the end, when it died down and this person was ready to hear what I had to say, I was able to say it. But I knew, due to the personality type, the timing, and the amount of change that was involved if this had went through, I needed to be still.
I think the bigger thing was remaining calm, right? And then reaching out to somebody who had a similar personality type, because you can't unpack that on your own. But Lisa's super nerdy, bossy, aggressive, similar. So you're reaching out to somebody with a similar type, saying, "Hey, man, what would you do? What do you need?" So all right, I have a couple more questions for Lisa, so we'll let you jump, Angela. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you, ladies.
Lisa arm being wore out. So Lisa,
I know. I'm like, she's extending it.
yeah, I just got 3 minutes. Because I want to talk about the thing that why you and Angela showed up aggressive. Y'all had two different experiences as the root of why, right? Of why y'all were aggressive. Angela was passive aggressive, as you can see. She's bougie. She ain't have her little wrap on, but she had that pop collar shirt on. You saw she had that pop collar shirt. But the root of your triggers were different. But your reaction to the triggers were different, but still aggressive, right? Because Angela just give you the
and still reactions.
Yeah, there's still a reaction. So once we talk, because Angela had the trauma default work and the let's dig through your childhood work and all this other kind of stuff before she took the executive, the advanced office politics, and we talk about elevating the executive presence. So she had that going into it, but you got it at the end. Now I got two questions for you. Are you ready? They're not invasive questions.
They're all invasive.
I'm tripping because you've done training before, clearly, like pounds. And when I sent y'all the workbook, and that workbook had stick figures in it, right? Talk to me. You thought that I was going to teach you something, and that's where we get it twisted, Lisa. Is because you're a consumer of information. You're a super nerd, right? I mean, you put super nerd all across your chest. The nerdiest of the nerd. And so as leaders, we are nerds because we want to be better, but we keep things external to ourselves. So you were expecting a booklet of information, and you got a framework of stick figures. What was your initial thoughts on that? Please.
I believe I told you that you sent us a raggedy little pamphlet and I had to print it. I had to print it myself. But man, By the end of that class, I written front and back on every single page. It was exactly what we needed. It was just enough. And so I did have to eat that at the end. I'll stand by Raggedy.
No, I mean because what we taught what I because advanced office politics was me
Mhm.
until we scaled. But what I taught you was about you. So I can't
Yeah.
give you anything outside of I'm not, but I think it's 8 women on the line. So it's like, how
Hmm.
can I get how can I get these women to unpack what they got going on? And I can't fill in the blank because it's based on who you are.
Hmm.
So yeah, you were salty. You was looking at this pamphlet like what you called it a pamphlet. It was a workbook, first of all. I just want to be clear.
It was. There were like 12 pages front
And it
and
was
back.
blank.
It was mostly blank. She did say, print it before you come.
It was blank
Print it.
because you need to get out like how you showing up, and then we gonna cross match and all these other kind of things. Stick figures like this is you, this is
Yes.
him, this is him, this is your boss, this is your colleague, this is your team member. How y'all showing up and how y'all with each other. That was so
Mhm.
magical.
It was.
Now, once you got the root of your trigger, how did that change how you show up in your life?
So that one is still even changing. So my the pattern I got was the lone wolf. But one of the how it shows up in my life is how it expresses itself is I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna ask a million questions. And if I see that you don't want me to ask, I'm gonna ask 2 million questions. Um, or I mean, I should be using past tense there. I would ask on other people's behalf. I would encourage people to ask, um, because I did not ever want to be silenced. If there was something that I needed to know and you did not want to tell me, I was surely going to ask. And what that did was really put people on edge around me. They're going to be interrogated when we're going to meet. I would hear things like, "Oh, sorry, I've been preparing for this meeting all day," and I'm like, "Just a quick check-in." What do you mean you've been preparing? But because they knew I'm coming, I'm gonna have questions. You're gonna say one thing, I'm gonna unravel that thing. And I've started to, I joke around about finding Forrester and the soup question. I've started to really monitor in myself, like, do I need to ask right now? Am I actually being silenced? What's the real situation that's happening here, not the one that my past is telling me. I bet that's what this is. This is exactly what it looks like. And besides settling the people around me, which has already been huge as a leader, it actually has settled me. I'm not waiting to catch people. I'm not looking for that thing to be wrong. I'm not hoping that a detail doesn't match so I can slam them on it. um I'm still myself. So I'm a payroll director, and if the numbers don't add up, math should always add up. I'm gonna check. But in starting to see, like, why am I asking this question? Am I even invested in this answer? Do I need this answer? um I've just been it's been helping me regulate my system on top of those things that Angela is talking about, the um meditation. I'm still working on the workouts. And really trying to mind my sleep hygiene, which used to be trash. Um, I've seen such a huge difference, and I'm gonna shout out only one of my numbers here. But Christy had told me, when you see yourself starting to let go, there will even be physical changes. And I was like, "Pfft, I'm a disbeliever, people." Um, and then I was talking to my daughter one day and I said, hey, this is super weird because I certainly have enjoyed the holiday season and every pumpkin confection that exists on this planet. Um, and since in the time since October, I've lost 25 pounds that I really think is just emotional baggage just left me. Um, I was like, what? What? Who? Old Lisa? Who? No. And so, and I think it's just, it really is like my nervous system is regulated. I'm more mindful of myself. Angela talked about that a little bit, being able to sit and understand like this person in front of me, the things that they're saying are not personal to me. Even if they say my name, it's not personal to me. And understanding that now I can choose how I respond, choose how I show up in that moment has really just, it's literally changing every single relationship in my life.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in my head. Look at what the Lord has done for Lisa. I can't believe it.
Amen.
It's awesome. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, so you wait, you said I wrote down waiting to catch people. Did you know that you were? I mean, you were toxic. Did you know you were toxic? Because you remember I told you
I,
that and you got mad. Did you
yeah,
know?
I did not know. Um, it was in the difference that I realized, oh man, I really used to be waiting to catch people. Um, because, I'm still in you feel your natural tendencies, especially when you're first trying to change them. Your brain's still doing the thing. And I'm like, hey, what's up there? We're on the same team. We're on the same side. What's happening here? Um, I mean, I will still tell you that I'm one of the best leaders ever. Um,
No, I believe
but
it. I mean,
I would say it before too. And I'd be wondering like, man, I put so much into trying to create a psychologically safe environment for my team. And some of the behaviors that I see um don't tell that story. Why am I not seeing their behavior line up with the environment I'm trying to create? And I was literally blinded to my own self, to the way I was building it, and then I was kicking over my own blocks. Um and so it I really came in, and I described that first the first weekend, because we did this in two parts, in two weekends. um I think I slept like 12 hours. I was mentally, emotionally worn out from just like running down the paths and then making the connections. And I am a person who reflects, who stops and looks back and says like, how could I have shown up better? And I'm like, man, how did I mean, literally, right? Biblical. How did I see everybody else's splinter and I was turning with my plank and not seeing it? And so, I was not aware. It actually embarrassed me at first. And I'm like, well, that's another part of my journey. It is what it is. I didn't see it, but I do now.
no, I love it because the trilogy that I wrote because I'm trying. My goal is now I have capacity, right? Because we're shifting around the coaching company and moving into more executive leadership development with companies, and it's like people know. I know we got to go. You got 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay.
1 minute. I just looked, I'm like, oh, I'm late for
Okay.
my next meeting.
People know like definition wise what self-awareness means. Leaders know y'all have done the training, y'all have done the emotional
Hmm.
intelligence training, but y'all ain't aware. Now you're aware and you're like, oh my God, now you can change it. Does that make sense? So
Hmm.
anyway, that's all I got, Lisa. I appreciate you.
I
And
appreciate you.
for
Thank you
dropping
so
that
much.
25 pounds in 2 months, which is what we do over here at Vision Find International. During the holidays, it is possible once you let go of what is triggering you and show up emotionally healthy at work and communicate better with your teams. All right, y'all. We're out. Bye, y'all.
Thanks. Bye.